All right, welcome to part 2 of Selecting Team Canada. Today's video, we will be talking about Team Canada's defense, as well as Team Canada's goalies that they'll be taking to the next Olympic Games. I'm going to start, so we're defense today. We're going to do our 4 pairs with the 2 extras, obviously, it's the 4th pair. So you started off the last video, I'm going to start off this video.
Okay, sounds good.
My very first pairing, I have on the left side Thomas Chabot, and on the right side Alex Pietrangelo.
Okay.
Now, this is my reasoning. One, I think Thomas Chabot is the next face of the defense of Canada's blue line, and he will only continue to develop. I believe it will be either him or Tkachuk becoming captain in Ottawa, but I'm more inclined to think it's going to be Chabot, to be honest with you.
I like Chabot a lot, yeah.
I think he is a very, very talented and up-and-coming defenseman. And I think being paired with Alex Pietrangelo, who I believe to be the best defenseman Team of Canada has to offer at this current moment, defensive and offensive, like overall, I think he is the better defenseman. I think we have better offensively gifted defensemen than him, but I think overall as a defenseman, I think he is the best guy we have to offer right now. They'll be able to provide offense while also just completely shutting anybody down in front of him. So, who do you have as your first pairing?
Mine, I actually put Shea Theodore and Alex Pietrangelo. I just went more for like chemistry than anything really for my top pairing, just because like Theodore, very, very good defenseman that pretty much just came out of nowhere, and Alex Pietrangelo just has always been really good. And then just having those two together, being on the same team in the NHL, definitely handy just for peace of mind for the forwards, just because they know that they're in good hands with Theodore and Pietrangelo.
Yeah, see, I like that. I like the team thing. I like the chemistry aspect, because like you need to be able to. I'm going to be honest with you, that I was actually very, very much debating those two. And it's not just for the purpose of a video to have arguments. That's not why I did it. But I chose otherwise. And also, I think, I don't know, I think Chabot will be able to learn a lot from Pietrangelo, and Chabot, as I'm saying, he's like the future of the defense as well.
Yeah.
So I think it'll be huge having a really solid pairing, and Chabot will be more the defensive guy, and Pietrangelo will be a little more offensive, but like they can intertwine.
Yeah.
But I did look into the
Theodore Pietrangelo.
I put a lot of thought into that, but ultimately I ended up going with mine. But all right, who's your second pairing?
My second pairing, left side on the pair, I put Adam Pelech. Right side, I put Dougie Hamilton. So we have an amazing defensive defenseman playing on the left in Adam Pelech, and then an amazing offensive defenseman in Dougie Hamilton. I just went for it could be a top pair too if they want, but like just the mix of like amazing defense and amazing offense. I just had to put these two together just because they're like complete opposites, but they can definitely like help each other as well.
Yeah. That's a great pick. See, I'm going to be completely honest with you. I didn't actually think about Adam Pelech.
Really?
So I actually updated my lines.
No, cheater.
No, I know, but I'm sorry. I had to. I did not think about Adam Pelech until now. He's probably one of the better defensive-minded players. So I added him, but as an extra. But you'll see that later.
Okay.
Okay, my second pairing, I have Shea Theodore on the left. So I do have Theodore in the top pair, or top couple pairs, yeah. And I have Cale Makar on the right.
Ooh.
I just think Cale Makar is probably the more offensively gifted defenseman available to either Team Canada or to really anybody. I was also looking a lot at Hamilton for this one. Well, I just don't think he signed in New Jersey. I don't think he's going to do well. That team is not good in my eyes, at least right now. And I think he's going to play himself out of a Team Canada spot. So.
Well, he did also play for Calgary. And
yeah, but he wasn't putting like elite defensive numbers in Calgary. He started getting in Team Canada's sights after Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
And like what that was because he was like elite.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily know if I want like a super shut down kind of guy in my second pairing solely because I still want them to be able to put offense up. I mean, but really, anybody's going to be solid in those pairings. So my two are more offensive though. Hey, like yours are. You have the one shutdown, then Dougie Hamilton, who's going to be able to
provide offense.
Yeah. Cool. I mean, so this is okay. So I'm super controversial with this next pick.
Oh no.
So my two defensemen for the final pairing, I have Darnell Nurse on the left side, and Colton Parayko on the right.
Ooh, I love Parayko.
Okay, so this is my reasoning. Okay, Darnell Nurse. Again, you have that chemistry with McDavid. So this is why I think I want him on the line. I'd want an Oiler on this team with McDavid, just like I don't think obviously McDavid's gonna kill it. He's gonna do so well, but just having one person and Darnell Nurse's chemistry on ice that they had all of last year, and then even years prior, I honestly think that's it's like the Crosby and Kunitz. You know what I mean? But like McDavid, the style McDavid plays, he comes in from the back, and the defenseman needs to know where to set him up and all this kind of stuff. So that is why I have Nurse. And he's still a very competent and very talented defenseman.
He's good, yeah.
Right? He was in the top 5 in points and defense. He was tied for first in goals last year. For the reason of his chemistry with McDavid. For the reason that he was top 5 in points. So he would be the more offensively minded guy on that third pairing. While still being able to be a physical presence in the back end too. Because he does not play a light game. He plays a big man's game. And he plays all the high minutes for the Oilers. So it's all number one defenseman. Like he's our number one defenseman. And he's getting paid like it now anyways. But
next year, not now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why I have Nurse. And then Parayko on the right. Now, Parayko, for two reasons. Edmonton born and raised, man. You gotta love the kid.
Okay, no, yeah. Okay.
Defensively, I think he is one of the better shutdown guys in the league. And he plays a style of game that would be huge in helping the shutdown of the top pairings. And when I thought of a legit shutdown pairing, I thought of this my third pairing. I think Nurse's ability to make those big passes to McDavid on the fly, I think that will help with our defense and like just the breakouts. And I think both of their size and physical play, I think they are going to be an absolute nightmare to play against. Okay. So what do you have as your third pair?
Well, I went with another like chemistry pair, and so I have Makar, but I also have Devin Taves. Same thing, just really good defensively for Devin Taves, and then obviously Kale Makar is just amazing, like offensively for sure. I would say like even if Devin Taves and Kale Makar aren't like a pair, or even like together, just the learning experience for like those two young men with like the best of the best in Canada would definitely help like their careers like drastically.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, like I said, Taves can play really good defensively. Makar really good offensively. I just kind of went with like defense and offense instead of having like one really good like offensive and then kind of like a shutdown kind of thing. I just kind of went with like the balance, and those two I think would be really good as a pair. I would say for Team Canada.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I like that. So who are your two extras?
Like I mentioned before, Nurse is one of my extras because I'll agree with you with like the chemistry with McDavid, but like I said, anyone with McDavid is gonna just be good regardless. And then don't like it because he plays for Toronto, but Morgan Rielly. Morgan Rielly is still a really good defenseman, and I would say he can pretty much fit into anywhere really. So I would give an extra spot to Morgan Rielly.
Yeah, not bad. I mean, those are two good two lefties. Very curious for that, but my last two, Pellich.
Well, now that you added him.
Now, yeah, I had originally had Morgan Rielly, but now I put Pellich in there. And then this is like all dependent if his injury gets better and he does well. Aaron Ekblad.
Ooh.
Prior to his injury, he was one of the top defensemen in the league last year. And that is why I think I'd have him. He can, again, similar to Nurse actually, he can play either a shutdown or an offensive role. In Florida, he's a little bit more offensive because he has to be, but he's also can be very, very, very strong and defensive player. So I have Aaron Ekblad as my fourth right D, and it's solely because of his injury. I think he'll be coming back like a month prior to the Canada lead. I think I'm not entirely sure when his timeline is going to be. Also, with injuries, you just really never know when they're going to come back for real. But if he does come back in time, I think Aaron Ekblad is a very good pick. And again, this is a pretty young team. I think the only older player, and I mean older in like big asterisks, Petrangelo.
Yeah.
So for me at least, and Darnell Nurse is like 27 now. I think 26, 7. So
Dougie's getting older too.
yeah, I don't have Dougie in my team though. So
Yeah, that's true.
notable exceptions, I think, for both of us. Chris Letang. I mean, he's getting older in age, but he's still a pretty elite defensive.
Good, yeah.
Elite defenseman. Mark Giordano was another guy that we've both omitted. Again, he's still getting older, and I think we're moving away from the older
Probably
to the younger.
He's from, or he used to be Calgary. Now he's Seattle.
Yeah,
so
Seattle.
I guess I'll give him a pass.
Yeah, I like him a little
Seattle.
more. Actually, no, I don't like him because of his McDavid injury.
No, that's true. Yeah. Anyway.
All right, so let's go to goalies, and I'm just going to say my three. You're going to say your three, and we're just going to discuss a little bit, okay?
Okay, I'm good.
My three, and I'll give a little reasons why. My number one is Carey Price. The way he's played for Canada the last time, and the way he plays in the playoffs, and the way he played for Montreal in the playoffs this last year, I think it is his crease to lose. Now, I think he can easily be taken over if he has a couple one or even two bad games. Yeah, I think he'll be taken over. But he shows up for those big games, and I think it's his crease to lose, man. I really do.
Okay.
Marc-Andre Fleury is my number two.
Okay, yeah, I have him on mine.
Who doesn't have the reigning Vezina winner? You know what I mean? And with the elite offense or the elite players playing in front of him, I think it'll just be so much easier. Plus, he does have the familiarity with Theodore and Pietrangelo. He's not there anymore, obviously, but he will have the familiarity with those guys. Okay, and then last but not least, Carter Hart. If Carter Hart has this, and this is like big hypotheticals, right? Like if Carter Hart has a bounce back year, like I believe he can, and I believe he will, Carter Hart can be Canada's best goalie. I think with the elite players that can be playing in front of him, just the quality, and then the veteran leadership you'll have in front of him as well with Carey Price and our Marc-Andre Fleury, I think he would be a decent option. I don't think he even plays, to be completely honest with you. I think one of Carey Price or Marc-Andre Fleury will run away with this. But I have him as my third for the fact that I think he's going to become Canada's best goalie after those two guys retire, and that I don't know. I want to give him the experience, man. Like he did so well for us in the World Juniors, too, right? Like he was a solid player.
I don't see Carter Hart making it.
That's okay. Who are your three? Probably not Carter Hart first.
Yeah,
But.
Not even on my extras for goalies. I don't even have Carey Price as one of my goalies. I have obviously Marc-Andre Fleury. We already talked about him. Just came out of nowhere with like playing with Vegas and just taking him to the Cup final in the first year, and then just deep runs in the later years. Also reigning Vezina winner. My second pick, Jordan Binnington. Yeah, now thinking about it, he would still be good. Like, probably won't play as much if he is on the team with Fleury on the team. He is coming back down to earth with like the last year, but just I can probably see if Price isn't there, I can see Binnington being there for Canada.
I had Binnington as my number one goalie in my fantasy league last year, and he was so streaky. That's why I was against having him, because if we have him when he's like in a cold streak at all, then it's like game over.
Well, that's why we have Fleury.
Fair enough. I don't mind it though, because if he's on a hot streak, he's
really
one of the
good.
better goalies in the league for sure.
Yeah.
But that's the thing; he's just very streaky. But continue. Who's your third?
Number 3, we can put Chris Driedger.
Very interesting pick.
Right?
Very interesting pick.
Like, last year, he was like, for like all the games that he has played for Florida, 14-6, 2.07 goals against and .927 save percentage. Definitely really, really good numbers.
You see, I didn't even think about Drieger. I think it's more, for me, it's going to depend really on how he does with the Kraken. Because he's their starter, if I'm not mistaken, right? No, actually, Grubauer.
No, Grubauer.
Oh, Grubauer's so yeah. I don't think I'd even have Drieger then because he's not even a starter in the NHL right now. They're going to do 1-2 tandem out there. That's going to be really detrimental to his chances. He's a good goalie, though. I'm not discounting your pick. I think he's a very solid goalie. I don't see how a non-starter gets on Team Canada, though. You know?
Well, that's why he's third.
Notable omissions. I mean, Tristan Jarry, who led Pittsburgh for a while. I mean, I think he could be a good goalie. I don't think he's like the best, but I think he's going to be a good goalie. Tristan Jarry is a notable one.
Sure, I guess. I got Darcy Kemper.
Darcy Kemper is a very notable omission. And that depends on how he does in Colorado, too, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like, if he lights it up, like, he can easily
he
come
could
in
probably
and be
make
a
the
third.
team.
Yeah. I think the
Colorado
goalies are very much
dependent
whoever's
on how
playing
play.
well at that point, right? I do think like there's so much talent to pick from, man. So much talent to pick from.
One of my extras, just he did have a really good year even with the defenseman that he was playing behind, but he's like super old. Mike Smith.
Yeah, I wouldn't have him on.
No, that's why he's an extra.
Yeah, I'm very biased, but I wouldn't have like the way he played last year, maybe, but I don't think he's in there.
No.
So. Anyway, that's not a bad team, man. That's not a bad team at all. So thank you all for listening to part 2 of our episode, picking out Team Canada. It was an absolute blast, and it definitely was a little bit caused for a few sleepless nights. Yes. Thinking about this because I don't want to admit anyone, and even then I omitted Pellick and
that was
this video and the previous video, Jonathan Toews too. Like I didn't have him in there at all. So, man, it was some pretty restless nights, that's for sure. So, all right. Well, thank you all for listening, and then tune in on this weekend when we release our next episode of the podcast, where we'll be talking about the Canadian teams, and we'll be just giving our thoughts on how they're going to do this upcoming season. We'll talk about the Western Canadian teams first, and then the Eastern Canadian teams in another week. We'll recap the Blue Jays and
their chase for the wild card.
Chase for the wild card, man. And then the NBA starting up soon, so this is an exciting time for Canadian sports. So thank you all for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next episode.